What's up, you guys, and welcome to another episode of The Variety Views. I'm your host, The Variety Vendor. Now, before I start this, I have to say that I'm a big fan of Joblo.com, Joblo videos on YouTube, and usually I do agree with a lot of the videos that they make, and I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of everybody that's involved. Now, Alex Mady came out with a video a couple of days ago. And I just got done watching it. You know, it's the YouTube algorithm. For some reason, certain videos don't pop up, and I realized, oh, wait a minute, this person that I'm a big fan of, I didn't realize that they came out with a video. So, always ding that bell icon to the YouTubers that you always follow. So, anyways, Joblo videos. There was the Superman Returns unpopular opinion video. I'm always a big fan of the unpopular opinion videos. Most of the time I find myself agreeing to, the things that they say, in those videos. I agreed with Alex Mady when it came to the Avengers movie. Now, if you recall me making the review of the Avengers movie, I did say that I wasn't a big fan of it, so there are a lot of things that are paralleled in our opinions, but at the same time, I cannot turn my back on the idea of that the Avengers movie, when it came out, it was a huge deal, and at the same time, I will say, it was an easy home run. It was easier than you would think it was. There was little room for error. Superman Returns, the thing is about Superman Returns is that that it was so ingrained in pop culture when it comes to video games and cartoons, especially cartoons. You had the Justice League Unlimited show, which was on Cartoon Network at the time, and also you had the animated series that was going on before that, as well as crossovers with Batman, and you had the fabulous Lois and Clark TV series, which is one of the most underrated TV series of all time. I'm really surprised that it does not come up as much as it should. And back to Superman Returns, it's a very, I agree, it's an underrated movie, but at the same time, I will say that Superman Returns is kind of an over-budgeted Lois and Clark episode. Now, hear me out. Here's what I mean by that. It has that fine line of, character development, but at the same time, there aren't many feats of strength for people who are outsiders, who know who Superman is, but don't know what Superman is all about. When you watch Superman Returns, it expects you to know the entire lore of Superman. Now, despite the fact that I just said that, Superman has been great in pop culture, what everybody thinks Superman is just an overpowered god that just fights villain and is a Boy Scout. That's it. They don't know much about him. And in Superman Returns, almost said Batman Returns, very underrated classic. Superman Returns, the thing is about that is that it does not tell you much. So if you miss it, you don't miss much. It's not as if it's an important chapter in the Superman lore. And let me set up the stage. I was 15 years old the first time I watched it in theaters. And when I heard about Superman Returns coming out, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. Because we had a plethora of superhero movies coming out, and each one is better than the last. You had like X-Men and Spider-Man and all that. And I was like, oh, great, you got Superman in this fray of superhero movies. And then I went into the theaters, and I remember the trailers going into it. The bullet, we all know it. The bullet going into Superman's eye, and then it just ricocheting off. It just amazing stuff. And then I watched the movie. And I remember just being, honestly, I was bored. I was very bored. And, walking out of theaters, I was happy that I got to see a Superman movie. But at the same time, I couldn't help but think that I was let down. And then later on, as I grew older, I kept watching it. It was always a movie that I would go back and watch. So this is mainly the reason why I'm making this video, is because it, like, every once in a while I find myself being like, I don't remember how good Superman Returns was. Maybe I changed my mind. And every time I watch it, I either like it for different reasons or hate it for different reasons. There's always something for me to feel at the end of the movie. And I came up with this conclusion. It's an overbloated Lois and Clark episode. You know, that's what it felt like. Because remember, that show had very, very limited action scenes. And the reason for that was A, the budget, and B, I feel like the writers wanted to do more things that had to do with Lois and Clark, more so than Superman. Because that was the title of the show. It was more about them. And I feel like this was the same way, where it was more about Clark and Lois rather than Superman. Now, the thing that I like about DC movies is usually the superhero is the character. The alter ego, the disguise, is them blending into society. While, you know, in Marvel, it's the opposite. Tony Stark is Tony Stark. Iron Man is his alter ego. Peter Parker is Peter Parker. Spider-Man is his alter ego. DC, it's the opposite. With DC, I always feel like it's the opposite. Batman is Batman. Bruce Wayne is his alter ego. Superman is Superman. Clark Kent is his alter ego because he wants to fit in. Now, if you had scenes of that would have been fine. But I feel like in this movie, it jumps on the idea of that, you know, people know what Superman is all about, instead of re-educating people and being like, yo, this is what it's all about. Superman is this, that, and the other. Because sometimes even me, like me being a Superman fan and following every sort of media that he's been in, comics, TV shows, cartoons, movies, video games, all that sort of stuff, sometimes I find myself asking myself, who is Superman? What is Superman all about? So, Superman Returns is a good movie. I agree, it's a good movie. There are things about it that I enjoy. There are things that are very Superman. I always, like, one of my favorite scenes is always Superman going up to outer space and just contemplating his next move while listening into the entire world. That is Superman. More of that, please. As far as, you know, Kevin Spacey's an amazing actor, and I thought he was a great Lex Luthor. However, the intentions, I did not like. I did not like the intentions. I did not like that after, if this is part of a continuation of the Richard Donner movies, at this point, Luthor should be all about taking over the world. His plan should change. It shouldn't be, again, real estate. It's over and done with. We already had 4 movies about that and a TV show. So Luthor needs to change. He should have changed his entire goal. It should have been more than that. And also, I think that there was a missed opportunity to bring in a new villain. Why is it always Lex Luthor? Why couldn't they change up the villain? If anything, I think Kevin Spacey would have been a wonderful Brainiac. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Kevin Spacey as Brainiac? You know, being John Doe from Seven, like him, that character as Brainiac, that would have been awesome. Are you kidding? Another movie that that y'all should check out that Kevin Spacey was in, Swimming with Sharks, an amazing flick, and Usual Suspects, that's been praised to hell. Kevin Spacey's an amazing actor, and he could have played Brainiac so well, rather than, again, another Lex Luthor. Another thing that I did not like about this movie is Superman's kid. Now, a lot of people have been talking about that and saying, like, oh, it just took away from the storyline. It's not that it took away from the storyline. It's just that I feel like Superman's kid was the giant, the haystack that broke the camel's back. That is what it was. And the reason why I say that is because you look at Brandon Routh as Superman, and the woman's name, like, it escapes me right now, that played Lois Lane. You look at them both, they look like they're in their early 20s, and they're supposed to have a kid that's what, 8 or 10. How does that work? And not just that, they have been away from each other for a few years. What's going on? It's too much. It's too much. It's like a giant spotlight on the flaws of the movie. Now, I'm not saying like the movie had to be perfect. The thing is, there's no such thing as a perfect movie. It's what makes a great movie is its ability to distract you from the flaws. And that's what I think that should have happened in this movie. You should have done away with the kid. That would have saved you a half an hour. Because like this movie was like 2.5 hours long, and it felt long. Because around this time in 2006, believe it or not, movies, the default the default time limit of movies were an hour and 30 minutes. It was normal to see a movie for an hour and 30 minutes. The first Iron Man movie was an hour and 20. So like this could have been like a fun 1 hour 20 minutes, you know, back to basics, and being like, hey, this is what Superman is all about. Because I feel like as good of an actor as Brandon Routh is, they could have had an origin story. Just be like, okay, we're gonna reboot the entire Superman lore. This is starting from scratch, rather than calling it Superman Returns. This could have been like just a new thing. We haven't had, like, before Superman Returns, we haven't had a Superman movie for 19 years. So what they could have done was like, okay, you know what? We're going to change everything. We're going to make a new Superman movie for the new generation, and this is what it's all about. And then you introduce Brandon Routh and everybody else. But the thing is that I didn't like was that Kevin Spacey was much, much older. He was much, much older. And it does not, I don't know, like for some reason it just doesn't work. It works better when Lex Luthor has seen, you know, Superman's work for many years. And I know Superman doesn't age as much as normal human beings, but at the same time, it fits better to the Lex Luthor narrative to have seen Superman from the get-go, from the moment he saved a kitten, like his first call to action, and him following his entire story. I think it would have been better. And you know, there are many problems that I had with this movie, but at the end of the day, I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. You know, like I kind of like I've warmed up to it a little bit, but at the same time, I do think that there are still, like, deservingly so, there were many problems that went with it, and I'm so glad that we got Man of Steel. Because Man of Steel is the right way to do a reboot. It's completely like, you know, forget about what we had before. This is something completely different. And for those who have a problem with Man of Steel and say, like, that's not my Superman, you still got the Richard Donner movies. It's still there. It's still preserved. They're still awesome. They're still amazing, amazing movies. And those who, you know, prefer Superman Returns, great. You know, anybody that has, you know, like the point of this video is not to bash anybody that likes Superman Returns. It's just me giving my opinion to the unpopular opinion. And I love what they do. I love their videos. I always enjoy them. Anytime I see a new upload, I'm all over it. So thank you so much. And if this gets to you, I just want to say that you know, I'm a big fan, and I hope to reach half of your success. And with that being said, comment, like, and subscribe. Share with your friends. Share with everybody. And check out my next video. We talk about something else. Take care.